into March now. February was a bit of a washout. We had quite a few storms and the lot of rain. Runway wasn't usable for a while, so the aircraft stayed in the hangar. Again, my test pilots Tim and Alistair. Basically, they went up in the aircraft again. I think this was the 7th flight, I believe, during the test flight phase, which was the max all-up weight, because you need to do a continuous 5-minute climb. And obviously having airspace restrictions ahead kept the initial climb low until they could start recording the various key stages of the flight. So initial flying included just general handling. There was a slight tendency to roll right, so that was addressed by adding
I'm currently working as a design engineer at Ford Motor Company as a contractor in the UK. I'm based at Dunton. There's a technical center in Essex in the UK. I've got a young family. I've got 2 young children, a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old, and my wife also works in the UK as a data analyst for a firm in London. So we are a family of 4. So I did get my private pilot license back in 2019, and I always wanted to take my family on trips in the aircraft. So looked into options of hiring aircraft. They were quite expensive to hire when you're looking to hire for a long trip, and also most of the aircraft that are available are really old and tired, and most of them were built in the 70s and 60s and still being used by flight schools and aircraft rental agencies. So I didn't really fancy putting my family into something like that, really old aircraft. So I ended up looking into either buying a new one, owning a share in a new aircraft, or then I found out about these building of aircraft. That's the whole sector of home build aircraft, and that recently you have the option of building a 4-seat aircraft at home.
Sling TSI empennage kit build. So I now kind of sorted my issues with the inspector, and I've had the inspector been around. He's had a look at the shed, and it's once it was level, I started finishing up the rivets. And this was my first finished part. The horizontal stabilizer fully done. Installed the wires. This again with the laser self-leveling laser level to check to make sure it's flat, because my shed is probably not sitting on a completely flat ground. So, and this section here, one of the YouTube viewers asked me for how much work I do get done in an hour. So this is I've condensed 30 minutes of work at 30 times the speed. So it's 1 minute. I mean, you can use a Dremel or something more sophisticated than a hacksaw, but it's as effective as anything else, I would say. And then you tidy up a little bit of that chop section. I use just a file to just tidy it up a little bit, and then you insert the mantle back again.